My name's Nathan. I brought the old iron sides in today, if you're familiar with it, the Uss Constitution. Little bit about the boat itself as far as how it functions. If you pull on the back mast, you'll see all the sails pulling. The reason for that is I rigged this boat using rigging maps from the actual boat so that they would work and function the way they're supposed to. I hand tied all the rigging. The rigging on the boat is as accurate as I could make it. There's 1,380 plus knots tied into it with 2 pairs of tweezers. The boat itself, the rounded hull, the way the edge pops out and the backing, I mean, everything come out really, really nice. Very happy with the way the boat came out. Aside from that, is there any questions that you
Yeah, so that's a really incredible build. So you said you kind of tied all those knots and did all that rigging yourself?
Yeah, off of the rigging maps from the original boat, so it was really difficult to try to decipher which string is what, and so you had to really redo a lot of research. It was 3 to 4 months worth of just research to start before I even tied a string. Took me I should say 3 months to tie all the knots, about 3 weeks to build the boat. So,
kind of see the work that went in there. So for the whole part of the ship, what's kind of the structure in there, and how'd you build that up?
All right, well, inside the boat, which, I'm going to pick it up, see inside. Inside the boat, there's ribbing that goes in between each cannon upright. What's neat about it is the ribbing that I did put inside the structure was structurally to the accurate boat, so that in between each upright is a structure component, so if a cannonball were to hit it, it'd be strong there. And also it's important for it to be there because as I was tying the strings, the deck would bow in. So I actually had to take the boat apart while half the rigging was tied to the boat to put the support inside of it later. It's hard to see, but if you look in from the back windows, you can actually see the detail inside the boat. So all of it's brown, it looks right. It's really neat. Unfortunately, it's hard to see with the deck up, but actually the inside is just as nice as the outside.
Have you visited the real ship before?
I have not visited the real one, but I have gone to, after finishing the boat, they had a square rig regatta come into South Carolina and flew out to see them. So did get a chance to talk to the crews and ask them about the way the strings were tied and how their pulls worked and things that I didn't know how. Went and asked them about, hey, how did you make this work and how does that work? And really got to learn more. So the next step after going and seeing the boats is I will rig the sails so they'll pull up and down their guidelines. So when I pull a string on the deck back here, all the sails will go up. And then when you let the string down, well, they'll go back down again.
Wow, yeah. So much moving there. And what'd you end up using for the sails?
The sails are just regular. Actually, I took a dress shirt and cut it open and sewed it back together again, but basically just regular cotton cloth. And stitched them around with a sewing machine along the top and then put jeweler rings to run the guidelines. So,
yeah, that's very cool. And then for the minifigs, looks like, was it just a lot of sort of the classic Pirates line minifigs?
Yeah, I kind of stuck with the original classic. I put a lot of different kinds of people. So like I have an Irish guy, what I'm considering a French type guy, because, Americans at the time were from all over, as a melting pot people. Even as far as my illegal alien down here. So I like to have fun with my minifigs, and inside, if you look, there's a what I would call my Irish mobster robbing the colonial guy, while the cop just so happens to be back turned and behind the sail. He waited till he left and rob him real quick. But yeah, definitely a lot of fun with the people more than they are accurate.
Yeah, that's a very impressive model. And you picked it up. It seemed pretty strong. Does this move around well and no issues there?
Oh, absolutely. The strings actually hold everything together better than they would be if not. I actually at one point walked by the model, knocked it over onto its side and 360 in a circle and didn't even lose a line on the boat. I was very impressed with that because that would have been a nightmare if it didn't hold together.
Yeah. Exactly. So have you done other builds in the past with sort of this detail work, or was this the first time you had attempted something like that?
One of the things that I do build on a regular basis is string displays where they hang, models hang from strings. So I'm used to tying the knots, and pirate ship theme's great. I wanted to build my own boat. Once the actual boat came out so nice, it was only thing to do was to rig it properly at that point, because it would just look so much nicer. So, it went from something that I could just put, in my fish tank displays and things like that, to something 10 times better once, oh, wow, this really came out nice. If you want to take a look at the strings on the bow, I mean, that all period accurate. So each one of those strings would be having a purpose, and the intricacy of it is just amazing. I loved seeing it on the real boat, and once it got done, it turned out great.
Yeah. That's just so impressive, the way you were able to do that and capture so much detail. So I think it turned out great. Thanks for showing that to us. Thank you.
Absolutely. No problem. I'm glad this all came out.